Alright folks, this is Bob. Bob is a 71 Ford F-250 Highboy. And some friends of my mom and I's own this truck. And the reason that I call it Bob is because the original owner's name was Bob. So that's why its name is Bob. No one else calls it that, just me. But Greenlight recently came out with a 71 Ford long bed casting. They had a short bed for a long time, but they finally came out with a long bed. Bob's a long bed. Bob's a 71. So guess what? The next custom on the list is Bob. The Greenlight truck, just like Bob, has West Coast mirrors, and the grill's messed up. That has a story behind it, but I'll save that story for later if I decide to tell it. But anyway, everything about this works for the custom we're doing. So I'm trying to look through my camera at this, so the pictures may not be centered very well. Let me find a better picture. I took this picture with my camera. The other pictures I actually took with my phone, so they're kind of blurry. But you can kind of see the wheels here. They're the old style split rim wheels. No tailgate. Trailer hitch. It's got a red top. So we can make this work really easy. We're going to use the 1970 Ford F-100 Explorer Special casting from Greenlight. I couldn't find the 70. They make a 71. Greenlight does, but I couldn't find that one. So I just stole the grill off of one of my other 71 Fords and switched the 70 grill out that was with this. And so this is the same grill, as you can see. It's got... I've never done a video like this before comparing something physical to a picture, but you can see the slats in the grill are the same. This one's not darkened very well. You can't see. There are these dividers in there. They're just hard to see. But anyway, so we've got the grill for the truck. Test fit that, make sure it works since it didn't come off of this. The bumpers are close enough to the same. We're just going to use the bumper that's on here. I have to paint over that license plate though, because that says 1970, and the truck we're doing is a 71. But as you can see, so short summary of this truck, four-wheeler hit the front of it. That's why this side's all messed up. The bumper got pushed back into the front wheel, so the bumper had to be cut rather than pull it out. So we're gonna do that, and then the way these are made, we can cut out, and that it'll look fine, or it'll look like it's supposed to. I wouldn't say it looks fine, but it'll look like it's supposed to. So this truck, this casting here, has a lot of small parts, and these drawers have small holes that small parts can fit through. So a lot of parts for this truck are going in the bag. For example, the West Coast mirrors. See, they're even hard to hold. They're so small. This is going to be a pain in the butt to glue back on, but I tried to save the little posts that go in these holes. So hopefully we don't clog those up with the paint too much. I stole some lift kit parts off of a different Greenlight truck. And I didn't think about this before. I tried slicing one open and sliding the whole axle in there. That didn't work very well. So this one's going to give me a little bit of trouble when I reinstall it, but that's okay. The wheels still roll good. The wheels need cleaned up, obviously. And looking at the picture here, the wheels are white. Gotta love the touchscreen. Alright, there's the... See, they're pretty close to the same. So, we're gonna paint the wheels white, and I'll show you guys how I make trucks look rusty too, since the wheels are rusty. Let's find a different picture. The other one. There's a big gash that goes down the side of this truck, and we can easily replicate that with the Dremel. So basically, this is one of the few customs that I know exactly how I want it to look from the start, and I actually know how I'm going to do that. Oh yeah, these axles are also quite small, so don't want to lose those. But yeah, those wheels come off of a Yatming Jeep, so not something as high a quality as Greenlight, but they will work very well for this casting, for this custom. Alright, so next thing to do, no, I'm not going to take it apart yet. I'm going to go ahead and chop out this little section here. Hopefully not chop off the corner of the fender. And then I'll get back to you. You can see a little bit of the frame, just not much. Same thing here. You can see a little bit of the frame. I don't know if this here is gonna last the whole custom. This little, because die-cast will bend one way, but when you bend it back to straighten it out, it breaks. So I don't know if this whole like front fender piece here is gonna stay on or not. It definitely needs filed down though. Oh no, that's paint hanging off there. Okay. Never mind. And then I went ahead and did some, like the, between the doors and the fenders are rusty, so I cut out spots there. Made a template for our little gash in the bed. Other picture, let's go the right way. You can see there as well. So, did it on the driver's side. So, oh, I also, the cab corners on this truck actually aren't rusted out, but I went ahead and added that detail. I just, since I was trying new stuff, cutting out, I thought I'm gonna try that, and I think that worked out good. So I'm gonna take some creative liberties on this. And as you probably noticed in the back picture, no tailgate. Now, the guy that owns this truck now, he has the tailgate for the truck, but it's just not on the truck. And I'm not gonna have one on my little custom truck either. But I decided with this having a trailer hitch and the bumper on it, I should probably take it apart before I cut the tailgate off. So that's my next thing, is take the truck apart. So it looks a little different than it did before, but I got on a roll with modifying it. Hopefully these rivets don't come apart, because the last Greenlight truck I had that these rivets came apart, it was really hard to put it back together. So hopefully they stay together. Although that will make it harder to paint. I'm still debating on, I may have to take it apart. But anyway, I know the hood can't come off. Yeah, that won't be good. But anyway, so I did the little gash in the bed there. I put some little, just very small divots and stuff in there. I mean, you can barely even feel them. Roughed up the bed a little bit. Whoa. Main thing that I did, tailgate is gone. If the camera would focus on it, you could see it's pretty clean cut. Didn't get into the tail lights anywhere. That's just, I had to file the this so it wasn't sharp, so the paint is filed off there, but the embossed tail light is still there. Cleaned up the rust holes a little bit. This one here is exaggerated a little bit. As you can see, it's not actually that big, but the edge of that door is a little bumpy, so I made it a little bumpy. There's a crack in the windshield, and when I carved the crack in the windshield on this model, it broke. I've never had one break on me when I carved the crack in. I must have been pressing too hard. So it's gluing back together right now, which I guess just makes it authentic that it's broke. So here's the base, which will be painted brown like rust. I don't have to do anything with the dashboard. I had to take it out though. And in taking it out, I realized that it kind of holds the hood in, so hopefully we're okay there. When we put it back, when I put this thing back together, I'll find out how much stuff I messed up. Alright, for this custom, I thought I want this thing to look roadworthy, this custom, so I kept one headlight in it. As you can see, the headlights are both pulled out of this truck. They're not broke out, there's no headlights in it. So I just kind of ground one out of this grill here. This truck actually, believe it or not, runs really, really good. It starts right up even when it's cold out. But it's just beat up and rusty. But it runs really good. So anyhow, that's why I'm making this model look somewhat roadworthy. I know you're not supposed to have a headlight out, but you know, don't overthink it. The front bumper, if I can pull all the little pieces out of here, I cut the front bumper at the desired spot, which was right after the bolts, which, as you can see, that's how it is here. Actually, the bolts should be right here, so it's kind of a little bit more, but I keep getting rid of that. Here's the interior. That will be painted black because this truck has a black interior. This won't be going on. I just wanted to save it to show you guys. This is the tailgate that I cut off. Engine. And then the back bumper has a mashed section. So I put a mashed section in this. When I paint this brown, the rusty brown, it probably won't show up as well. But alright, so the truck is ready for paint stripper. Oh, and I did all this. I wanted to show you I did all this with the smallest ball cutter that I think Dremel offers. But so you guys can see what the head of that thing actually looks like. Here's what a real one looks like. It's got little threads on it, and those threads just kind of make holes. They dig into it, basically. This one is the same way, but it's hard to see, so I didn't actually use that big one on anything. It might have been helpful at times, but I didn't use it. So this is ready for paint stripper. Clean this just to get all my fingerprints off of it, and that'll be ready to paint. I don't think I need to primer that. maybe I should. This needs painted. Alright, so basically we're ready for paint and primer. So I use this aerosol Savagran paint stripper here. And the cool thing about it is that it works so quickly that you can watch it work. See how it's blowing up that paint? I just think that's pretty cool. It's like caustic soda without the water, basically. Little helping hands thing that I use to paint is not here. So I made one. Oh, it came apart, by the way. The cab's here. I made two helping hands, I guess is what you'd call them. That's what I'm using them for. Those little clamp things that I use to paint stuff so I don't have to hold it. Well, I'm using that right now to do this, and this one looks a little extreme, but I was running out of pliers. Pliers that would lock each other, so I have a real clamp on that one. Alright guys, so still gotta paint the red top on the truck here, but the paint for the most part came out pretty well. Every time I paint something, white seems to be the color that I have trouble painting. So I had a little bit of trouble with the white paint, but I decided that since it's going to be an old beat up truck anyway, the paint doesn't have to look super good. And that's why part of this is sprayed on and part of this is hand painted. Because the parts that didn't lay right, after 3 times of painting it, I just said, you know what, this doesn't have to be perfect. Because the paint on that old truck's not perfect. Alright, so you may notice this is a different bumper. Stole a bumper off of a different truck. So this is more like the actual bumper that's on the truck. And I matched the corner of it to match the real truck. Not wanting to focus on it right now, but it's there. Went ahead and painted the tail lights on there. Still got to do the rest and everything. I'm waiting until I finish the cab of the truck first. I don't know if I showed you guys, but I ground up some of the grill. The paint stuck the hood closed, so we're not going to see in the engine compartment, so this can be saved for a different project. I stole some lift kit parts from another Greenlight truck and glued them onto the base of this truck, and then painted the whole thing ruddy brown, as Ace Hardware called it. This was almost the exact color that I wanted for the rust, and it laid on pretty nice, so no complaints there. I went ahead and glued the collector number back onto this truck. I know that doesn't mean anything now because it's not the same truck, but I just thought that would be a nice touch. That's the collector number from this truck when it was new. The Yatming wheels are on there, and right now they look kind of funny, but I'll get them to match the rest of the truck later on. I test fit everything to make sure that they weren't too big. They're actually the right size. They're almost too small, but they're not too small. Hand painted the interior. It's hard to see in the picture of the truck, but there's a big crack in the passenger side of the window in the windshield, and so I carved the crack in there, and when I was carving the crack in there, the plastic broke and I had to glue it back together, so there's a real crack in with the carving. So I glued the front bumper to this truck back together and put a different 71 Ford front bumper on it from a different Greenlight truck. And you can't even tell that the other one was cut apart because I saved both pieces of it, so it looks brand new. And then this one had a Ford license plate on it, and so since the other truck was just a cab because it was from a ramp truck that I did a custom on a year or two ago, I had a cab left over, and so I took the bumper off of that because I wanted a Ford license plate on the front of this thing anyway, so that worked out well. I was pointed out that this little model has 2 West Coast mirrors, and the picture of the truck has 1 West Coast mirror and 1 mirror mount with a monocle mirror attached to it. But I am not going to try to cut something that small and make it look round. You know, this little rectangular part, I'm not trying to cut that to make it round and look like it's still mounted on this bracket. It's going to just have 2 of the correct mirrors. The dashboard in the truck is kind of a tannish color. It's got a black seat, but the dashboard's not black. So if I remember to paint that, I'll paint it, and if I don't remember, there's no tragedy because the seat is black like it's supposed to be. Yeah, so that's where we're at with this right now. I was gonna paint the lift kit part separate from the base, and then I thought, well, that's silly. That just doesn't make sense. So I glued everything together and then painted it, and I think it looks better. It looks less like it's glued on there. The only problem was that the plastic parts weren't primered because I primered the base, but the paint was rust protection paint, so it was supposed to stick to about anything. So it stuck to that plastic pretty good. Alright, so we got the red top painted. So the next thing you do is unwrap it and see how it looks. So most of it came out okay. We have some overspray here, which somehow got there. And we have some here because the tape didn't seal up. And this is uneven because the tape didn't seal up. So just gonna paint over that because I'm not starting over for that a little bit. I've touched up stuff on the other trucks that I've done, and it's hard to tell that it was there, so we will do that. So let it dry, and like I said, the goal of this is not perfection, and you really can't tell where it is painted over. You can a little bit. Okay, the back part there is pretty noticeable, but you won't even see that part because the bed matches up with the cab really nice. Everything seems to be fitting together pretty good. This is just my test fit. The truck is not back together yet. So, the truck's back together now after the back wheels fell off twice. I wasn't sure how I was going to get it back together because this front rivet broke off, or it's not a rivet, it's a mushroomed off post, but it broke off when I took the truck apart. So just these back 2 rivets here, I'm going to call them rivets, just those back 2 were still there. But I got the truck glued back together. I got the wheels to quit falling off of it. I had to get a new windshield from a different parts truck. Just coincidentally, I happened to have a 70 Ford from the flatbed custom that I did, I don't know, a year or 2 ago. And so I used that windshield, and for some reason it got really foggy. I don't know why. It looks like glue fog, but oh, probably from when I glued the dashboard in. So the glove box was painted, and it got scratched when I put the thing back in there. And the dashboard is painted tan, but you can't really see that either. All you can see is the big crack in the windshield, which I still think the first crack was carved out better, but it split the windshield in two, and putting that back in there was not going to happen. I don't know if I never mentioned this before. The hood is not going to open, and especially not now, because Greenlight really packs these trucks together pretty good, and so the dashboard helps hold the hood in there, along with this little plastic tab. And the plastic tab and the hood had to come out so I could glue the dashboard back in there. So I had to cut the hinges off of the hood once I took it out, because it wasn't going to go back in there with the dashboard. That's okay though. I had to glue it shut though. So there are some imperfections in the paint after the glue fiasco, but I figure since it's an old beater farm truck anyway, the paint blemishes are not really gonna stick out like a sore thumb. The wheels, for being Yatming wheels on a Greenlight, don't look too bad. So I'm gonna finish gluing the truck together and do the rust work. The bed's really rusty in the truck, or just because it didn't have any paint, so that'll probably be mostly brown, and then the parts that I have cut out. And then we can look at it all finished. Alright, so got it all back together now, and I think you will agree that it's looking pretty good. Now some of the rust spots were kind of exaggerated from the model to the actual truck, but some of my grinding was a little exaggerated from the model to the truck. And then this up here clearly is not on the truck, but there was a big paint blemish there, and I thought the rust was a good way to blend those three spots in up there, and that one there. The truck itself really isn't that rusty, like not even on the door, but I made a bunch of little grindy spots on the door, so it got rusty. Made the wheels a little more rusty to match. There's a little bit on this side of the hood, and there's a little bit there. It's not exactly dry, the rust spots. I just painted those by hand, so that's why I'm kind of holding it like I am. But you can see it was really hard to get the broken grill to look like it does. But you can see this section here is not really broke, it's just pushed in. And so I tried to not grind that section out and just have it there. And obviously I can't bend or twist any of this little stuff in there, so the rest of it's just kind of grinded out. Along with the headlight, I ground this headlight out. Like I said, I want to make this model look like it can drive on the road. Well, you can't drive on the road without lights. So I gave it one headlight, and this turn signal is busted out, but on this one it's not. Again, need turn signals. I think you should be able to get by with one headlight, although that's kind of frowned upon by policemen. But one headlight's okay. You gotta have turn signals. There's no way around that. You gotta have turn signals. I need to paint the side markers on still, like that. I have not done that yet. The mirrors. When I the camera's wanting to focus on this, so I'm going to shut it off. When I glued this mirror on, this top bar broke. And this peg down here was broke, so it was really hard to glue that mirror back on because it came apart in 3 pieces. The other mirror went on with no trouble. I managed to not break this little piece off, which I'm still kind of surprised about. I got the big gash in the door. That one. Let me go to that actual picture, which I think is this way. Again, it's kind of exaggerated, but there is a big gash in the door. In the side of the bed behind the door. And there is here too. You know, like I said, I didn't get everything, and like there's not rust on the fender here, but there's rust on it on this model. You know, I mean, I did what I could. There's also a monocle mirror attached to this mount for some reason. I'm sure that has a story. Again, I'm not grinding this mirror down to look round. These parts, here's my pinky finger next to this part. These parts are very small and they're very hard to make minute details like that. I thought this windshield had the wipers cast. It does have the wipers cast in. I will paint those in. So there will be a few more things on this when you see it on the turntable. But I did everything I could. I'm missing the rust back here. I am seeing that now. But I made up for it on this side, which I don't think is even... Yeah, there's not even rust back there. But, you know. Okay, so it's just flipped on the other side. We'll just say that. But, I didn't paint these reflectors in underneath the taillights, personally, because I think those look dumb. Even on the real trucks, I think they look dumb. They don't light up. They're just reflectors, and I don't really understand why they're there. Because you have the tail light right here, so I don't know why those are there. So I didn't bother to paint those in. Just my own personal preference. Got the bumper, got the mashed part of the bumper here. Got the mashed part of the bumper here. It actually looks like it's mashed opposite of the picture of the truck, though. This one, the outside is mashed back. And this, the real one, it looks like it's mashed from the inside. But again, I can't control how the plastic mashes in the vise. Maybe with heat I could. Also, with the picture, let me zoom out so you can see. You can't see the bed because there's stuff in it. Like I said, they use this truck. But it's been a work truck probably all its life. So there's not much paint left in the bed, and as a result, it's rusty in there. So that's why this looks like it does. I need to fix that tail light. It kind of got rubbed off, it looks like. Yeah, I hope you enjoy it. I enjoyed making this one. I had a heck of a time last night putting it back together because the frame was bent and it was already painted, so I had to pat it before I could pound on it and straighten it out. Got it straightened out. It was a nightmare putting this back together, let's just say that. But it looks nice now. It's very rewarding. I don't want to talk about last night, though. So I will do the turn indicators. My chrome pen probably won't be able to do the emblem here. I'll try it, but it may not be on the final product that you see on the turntable because of I need a smaller chrome pen than what I have. I just haven't invested in that yet. So like, comment, subscribe for more. Have a great day. Catch you in the next video. Tell me if you guys like these customs that I do. Most of the customs I do are trucks, just because I like trucks. I really like doing old beat up trucks like this, although it's kind of a challenge. Like, You can't even see the crack in the windshield on this picture because the pillar is right in the way. But you can kind of see part of it right there. It's kind of starts up here and then kind of... It cracked really weird. They're like vertical cracks. And so that's why this is carved out like it is. There's one extra one here that probably doesn't actually... No, it doesn't actually go... In reality, I think if this one was there, it would go out to like the end of this wiper mount here, and it doesn't. But anyway, tell me if you guys like these customs. Have a great day, and see you in the next video. I did add windshield wipers. They just didn't get added until after the turntable. So now the truck is completely finished. You guys probably could see the emblems and turn signals actually came out pretty good. So now Bob's finished. You guys have a good day, and I'll see you later.